Two things you don't know about Poppy. Number 1, Poppy likes cat too much, because if you notice the rails behind her was built in the shape of a cat. Number 2, if you look closely, you will also notice the fact that most of her controls are shaped in form of a cat. 2 times Lucy was gay in Despicable Me 4. Number 1, I would tell you that the burning hair scene was not a mistake. If you notice, when the lady showed Lucy the hairstyle she wanted, Lucy got so nervous because she was attracted to the lady. Number 2, when Poppy Mom approached them telling them how they should join them on a vacation, who else noticed how Lucy literally fell in love with her? 2 times Poppy playtime in Despicable Me 4. Number 1, the first one happened when she came to rescue Gru Jr. by helping Gru to reach Maxim flying rocket. Number 2, but if you can recall, Poppy stole the flying car from Gru's school. 2 times Poppy fulfilled her dreams in Despicable Me 4. Number 1, the first one was when Gru and the minions finally helped her to get the honey badger she had been dreaming of. At that moment, Poppy was so grateful. Number 2, at the end of the movie, Poppy's last dream finally came to pass as she was dancing happily because she entered her dream school. 2 times the minions almost killed each other in Despicable Me 4. Number 1, the first one was when this particular minion raged with anger. At that moment, he was ready and willingly to kill his pair, as he couldn't stop hitting him. Number 2, the second one happened during Maxim mutation, as a particular minion joked about being a cockroach. Not so long his brothers almost killed him with an insecticide spray. 2 times Gru Principal betrayed him in Despicable Me 4. Number 1, the first one happened during the Villain Award ceremony. Since she was the one in charge, she manipulated everything by giving the Best Student Award to Maxim, which made Gru angry. Number 2, after Gru and Poppy stole from her, with anger she tracked their home address. Without hesitation, she leaked all the details to Maxim, leaving him with the upper hand. 2 times Maxim mocked Gru in Despicable Me 4. Number 1, the first one happened when they first met. Gru gave Maxim a compliment about his outfit. Maxim took it forward and started insulting Gru because he didn't dress very classy. Number 2, the second one was when Gru bragged about stealing the moon to impress the crowd. With hesitation, Maxim disgraced him.
You mean that moon?
2 times the minions copied Gru in Despicable Me 4. Number 1, the first one happened when Gru picked up Maxim's reward to mock him. The minions copied Gru and immediately started mocking him too. Number 2, the second one happened when we saw Gru with his latest sport car. Who else noticed the fact that he built the same for the minions? 2 villains that shockingly appeared in jail in Despicable Me 4. Number 1, as the song was about to start, you can spot Gru Principal sitting down and minding her business. Number 2, while Scarlet and her husband still remained the most happiest couples in the cell as they couldn't stop dancing. 2 times Poppy showed up in Despicable Me 4. Number 1, the first one was after she finished dancing. Her nonchalant attitude was just so cool. Number 2, the second one was when Gru was educating her on what the arrow with green liquid is used for. 2 times Lucy had mixed emotions in Despicable Me 4. Number 1, the first one was when Silas told her about her new job. Lucy couldn't control her happiness at that moment.
And then I would totally rock at this.
Number 2, after she had the kid's fake name, she was literally laughing and mocking them indirectly, but when she saw hers, she was startled. 2 times the honey badger was good in Despicable Me 4. Number 1, the first one was when Gru Jr. gave him a juicy drink for the first time in his life. Number 2, the second one was when he was scared because he noticed the fact that the old lady had come for him. 2 Poppy moments in Despicable Me 4. Number 1, the first one was when Gru and the family first moved in. Poppy can be spotted spying on them drastically. Number 2, the second one was when we got to see Poppy in her room. It was just so cool. 2 Poppy and Lucy moments in Despicable Me 4. Number 1, the first one happened when Gru was so angry at Poppy because she was literally threatening him to go out with her. Number 2, the second one was when the Lucy was being chased by the crazy beautiful lady from the hair salon that got her hair burnt. 2 Poppy moments in Despicable Me 4. Number 1, the first one was when Gru Jr. made a first impression by making the honey badger love him. Poppy couldn't him it.
Aww.
Number 2, the second one was when the baby feeder was about to fall on the security man. Poppy panicked, but Gru saved the day. 2 times Poppy Cat was a freak in Despicable Me 4. Number 1, the first one was during their dress-up. When she wore her cat, the Googles, his reaction was priceless. Number 2, the second one was when he was literally jamming to the beat of the song with the correct dancing step. At the end, he nailed it. 2 times Lucy was proud of Gru in Despicable Me 4. Number 1, the first one happened after Gru Jr. finally accepted Gru as his daddy. Lucy was just so proud of her boys. Number 2, the second one was at the end of the movie. Lucy was proud of Gru for bringing Dr. Nefario to turn Gru Jr. into a normal baby again. 2 times Poppy stole in Despicable Me 4. Number 1, after they were being chased by the old lady, they had to steal her flying royal car and use it as a getaway vehicle. Number 2, the second one was when she stole the honey badger with the help of Gru. Then later on she was spotted dodging so the owner won't catch her. 2 times Poppy was a bad girl in Despicable Me 4. Number 1, the first one was when she showed off how she dresses in order for her to start her badass dancing class, which was actually so cool. Number 2, the second one was when we got to see the fact that she had a very big monitor that can display anything that happens outside. She even got a pink security camera. 2 times Lucy consoled her children in Despicable Me 4. Number 1, when they were about to move out, Margot got so sad because she was afraid, but without hesitation, Lucy came to show her love and care. Number 2, the second one was when Agnes was feeling sad because she was missing her pet, but later on Lucy came to console her. 2 times Poppy and Gru almost died in Despicable Me 4. Number 1, the first one happened when the principal was pursuing Poppy and Gru with the intention of harming them. With fear, Poppy jumped off and almost killed herself. Number 2, the second one happened when Maxim took it too far by wanting to kill Gru at all cost. 2 Poppy moments in Despicable Me 4. Number 1, the first one was after they successfully aborted their mission. We can spot Poppy get so happy and excited for the first time. Actually, this scene was relaxing. Number 2, the second one was when we got to see her house. At that moment, Poppy was feeling like a princess. 2 times Lucy got excited in Despicable Me 4. Number 1, the first one happened when they had their first interaction with Poppy parents after they invited Lucy and Gru for a vacation summer. Lucy got so excited. Number 2, the second one was after Dr. Nefario turned Gru Jr. into a normal baby again. Lucy was filled with joy. 2 Poppy moments in Despicable Me 4. Number 1, the first one was after Gru Jr. outsmarted the honey badger. Poppy found that moment so cute.
Aww.
Number 2, the second one was when she found out that the old lady had come for her honey badger. Without hesitation, Poppy ran away with it. 2 times Poppy was creative in Despicable Me 4. Number 1, after Poppy father and Gru wife left to work, Poppy threw a star made out of paper for Gru which contained her treehouse in a stand. What a creative girl. Number 2, the second one happened when Gru first got into Poppy house. He was just so surprised because her matching pink room was epic. 2 Poppy moments in Despicable Me 4. Number 1, the first one happened during their heist. Out of fear and panic, Poppy pressed the alarm button, which caused a massive lockdown, panicking the old lady. Number 2, the second one was when Gru and Maxim was performing a special song. You can spot Poppy Prescott and her crew dancing for the very first time. 2 times Poppy was grateful in Despicable Me 4. Number 1, the first one was when they were on their way to the castle to complete their heist. Poppy was just so grateful and excited. Number 2, the second one was after the heist. Poppy was just so happy and grateful because Gru helped her without requesting for anything in return. 2 Poppy and Margot moments in Despicable Me 4. Number 1, the first one happened when Gru first introduced Margot to Poppy. Out of ego, Poppy literally dissed and snubbed her. Number 2, the second one happened when she finally accepted Margot and the family, when she insisted that she would spend time with them. 2 times Poppy freaked out in Despicable Me 4. Number 1, the first one was when the feeder was about to fall down. Poppy was literally freaking out because her life depended on the mission at that moment. Number 2, the second one was when she was driving Gru through so he could go get Gru Jr. Poppy freaked out immediately. Maxim almost killed them. 2 times Poppy impressed Gru in Despicable Me 4. Number 1. The first one was when she showed Gru a hand-molded scripture of his former school, which was just so cool. Number 2. The second one was when she opened a castle door with a hairpin, even though she wasn't a professional thief when it comes to heisting. 2 times Gru was scared of Poppy in Despicable Me 4. The first one happened when Gru was about to take out the trash, just for him to realize the fact that Poppy was actually in the dark, trying to expose his secret. Number 2. The second one happened when Gru waved at her in a friendly way. Her looks alone freaked Gru out. 2 times Lucy was uncomfortable in Despicable Me 4. Number 1. The first one was when the crazy lady was pursuing her in the grocery store. Lucy was just so uncomfortable as she was running for her life. Number 2. The second one was when she got the news about Maxim attack. Lucy couldn't even sit to get a drink. 2 times Dr. Nefario helped in Despicable Me 4. Number 1. The first one happened at the end of the movie after Agnes got called by Gru, just for her to realize that Dr. Nefario brought back her goat pet for her. Number 2. We all knew that Gru Jr. was mutated in a baby cockroach, but when Dr. Nefario came, he turned Gru Jr. into a normal baby, which made Lucy happy.
No job too small or too mad. Bye then.
Bye!
2 happy moments in Despicable Me 4. Number 1. The first one was when all the Vicious Six had to get out of their cell in order to join the group and jam to the song that Gru and Maxim was performing. Number 2. The second one was when Silas was literally jamming to the song even though he was in the AVL headquarters working. 2 times Gru principal almost killed him in Despicable Me 4. Number 1. The first one happened during their heist after she got alerted from the loud alarm beep, which made her to start pursuing Gru and crew, wanting to kill them not until Gru saved the day.
I want my Lenny!
Number 2. The second one was when she forcefully entered into their house waiting for Gru to arrive. Later on when she saw Gru, she didn't take it lightly with him as she tried to kill. 2 times Poppy was surprised in Despicable Me 4. Number 1. The first one was when they just arrived to the castle on their air balloon. Poppy was just so excited because it was her first time. The second one was when she saw past villains. She couldn't help it but celebrate so hard because she wasn't expecting it. 2 times Lucy took care of Gru Jr. in Despicable Me 4. The first one happened when she told Gru to help her take care of Gru Jr. Before she left, you can spot how she pampered Gru Jr. The second one was during dinner. Immediately Gru Jr. finished eating his food. The way Lucy took care of him was adorable. 2 times Lucy was a joke in Despicable Me 4. Number 1. The first one was when they got to see their new job list. How Lucy celebrated was just so funny and cringe. Number 2. The second one was when they were about to move out. Lucy noticed how Margot got sad, so she decided to cheer her up. Who else noticed how Margot snubbed her? 2 times Poppy made a mistake in Despicable Me 4. The first one was when she hit the alarm button, which led to a massive lockdown. The second one was when she almost lost her life because she was being chased by an evil Prescott old lady, so she decided to jump off a cliff. 2 times Poppy raged in Despicable Me 4. Number 1. The first one happened when she got the news about her children being under attack. Not so long Lucy got home and she was ready to fight. Number 2. The second one happened when she was making the woman hair at the salon, and she made a mistake that caused a fire panic attack. Without hesitation, she ran out of the hair salon. 2 times Lucy was kind in Despicable Me 4. Number 1. The first one was when her and Gru was preparing a meal together, which was so fun. Number 2. Regardless of the fact that Lucy was being chased, she still paid for her items. How generous of she. 2 times Margot was kind in Despicable Me 4. Number 1. The first one was when Poppy came to visit them, insisting she will stay. The way Margot embraced her in was just too heartwarming. Number 2. The second one was when she opened the door for the minions so they could put Gru Jr. inside. 2 times Poppy drove Gru in Despicable Me 4. Number 1. The first one was when she used her super expensive air balloon to carry Gru and crew to their desired destination. Who knew a 16-year-old girl would have such money and power?
I believe I'm really here!
Number 2. The second one was when she used her flying car to help Gru catch up to Maxim in order for him to save Gru Jr. Poppy is so cool. 2 Poppy evil moments in Despicable Me 4. Number 1. The first one happened when Gru came to Poppy house. Poppy said a bad word that Gru had to censor Gru Jr. ears. Number 2. The second one happened when Poppy was literally threatening Gru because he said he might not follow her to the heist. She then picked on Gru Jr.